Today we're going to talk about building your resume into the USAJOBS Resume Builder. Once you've created your profile in USAJOBS, you will need to select the Resumes option on the left-hand side, and you will see two options. One is to build new resume, and that is what I strongly encourage you to do. The other option is to upload your resume, meaning you browse, attach, and upload your resume. And it's not that this option doesn't work. I just prefer the resume builder, build new resume, for two main reasons. Number one, the HR folks are very familiar with the format and they know where to find all of the information they need. Number two, the resume builder will prompt you for every piece of information required on a federal resume. So there's no way for you to leave any information out. I strongly encourage you use the build new resume option. You can incorporate up to 5 resumes using this option. So you do have a lot of breathing room here. Now, once you make the selection to build new resume, you will need to name your new resume. And my only suggestion here is that you keep the name familiar so that when you need to make a selection for that particular resume, you know what you are selecting. So you might want to label it with a job title number or name or an agency name or simply a date. Totally up to you as long as you can recognize the resume that you need at the time you're applying. Now, if your resume was created by Federal Job Results, you will see at the top of your draft resume that you will have a career summary or a professional profile, a section that has an overview of your entire career. Okay? You will enter this information into the work experience block. And instead of the work experience referring to a particular job, that work experience for this particular entry will actually refer to your entire career. It's a summary. And what we want to do is make sure that this summary appears at the top of your resume. So your employer's name is going to be career summary. Your job title is going to be professional profile. And all of the information needs to correspond with your personal information. Now, the start date of this particular work experience will be probably about 10 years ago, meaning look at the first job that is listed on your resume, the longest job, if we go backwards, job that's at the end of your resume, and see what date that job starts with, and that should probably be your start date, although it really doesn't matter. Your end date should be present because, again, this is a summary of your work experience. Now, underneath that, we have average hours per week. And if you've worked mostly full-time hours, I would put 40. You could put more. If you've worked less than that, you can put less. And then underneath this option, it says, may we contact your supervisor? For this particular entry, I would say no, because this is, again, a summary. Down below, under the duties, accomplishments, and related skills, this is where you're going to put all of the language about your career, your summary information, any skills that you have, any endorsements or recommendations that people have provided for you. And then at the very bottom, you want to click on Save Experience. Now, the next work experience that you will enter will actually be either your current job or your most recent employment, or if you have volunteer work, training, or education that you pursued, it's going to be whatever you pursued closest to today. So whatever is your most recent experience will be added to this work experience section. And you will continue to add that information until all of your work experience on your resume has been added. Now, as you add your work experience, all of the blanks that have red asterisks next to them must be answered, must be entered, have to have information in there. So you have to have an address, country, city, state, and zip code, a start month date, a start year date, and an end date, both month and year. Salary is totally optional. If the job announcement that you are applying to says that you must list salary, then you must do so. But if it doesn't list that salary is mandatory, you can leave salary blank. It's totally up to you. If you have a higher salary than what you're applying to, that might help you out a little bit. If you have a lower salary, as long as it's in the ballpark, it really doesn't matter. And the ballpark could be very broad. Average hours per week here, you're going to put in 40 if you work full-time. You want to put in a lower number if you work less. And right here at the bottom, they do ask for supervisor's name and supervisor's phone number. And that is because the question says here, may we contact your supervisor? For all options other than your current position, I would say yes if you have a good relationship with your supervisor. If you don't know where your supervisor is or you don't know his or her phone number, still say yes and give the supervisor's name and then give the company or the human resources phone number. If you have a story to tell, meaning supervisor and you didn't get along or there was something going on there at the position, you may wish to click on contact me first instead of no. No will raise a red flag. So your options here for may we contact your supervisor are yes or contact me first. If you have a sad story to tell, please select contact me first and tell your side of the story first. Super important. Okay. Now, if the company has gone bankrupt or they're no longer in existence or they've merged with another company, please say yes, you may contact my supervisor. Give the supervisor name. And if you have the phone number for the new company, great. If you don't, again, your option should be contact me first and then tell your side of the story, meaning the company went bankrupt, it doesn't exist any longer, and is there any other way I can help you get the information you need? That's your story. Now, at the bottom here, on the bottom of the screen is where you're going to enter in your duties, accomplishments, and related skills. And then you want to make sure you save your experience. Now, if you run out of character space when you are entering in your duties, accomplishments, and related skills, you will go to the 4th tab of the USAJOBS Resume Builder. And at the very bottom, there's a section called Additional Information. Click on Add Information, and you will be able to add up to 20,000 characters. Huge amount of space. You should not run out of space at this point. Again, make sure you save your information. Now, once you've entered in all of your work experience, meaning each job that you've held, particularly in the last 10 years, and any training, education, or volunteer work that you would like to use to fill up gaps in employment, you've entered all of that experience here into the USAJOBS Resume Builder, you can drag and drop these boxes to change the chronological order that they appear on your resume. Doesn't need to be done, but if there's something that you need to do to make yourself look a little better, then go ahead and do it, please, by all means. Now, the government really does not care about gaps in employment up to about 18 months. After about 18 months, they want to make sure that you are accounted for. So it's really good to fill up those gaps with volunteer work or training or something else that we can enter into there, like personal leave of absence or something like that. Now, the 2nd tab of the vacancy announcement will allow you to add education. And this is any education that is recognized by the U.S. Department of Education. Usually these are universities, colleges. You will need to fill in all of the blanks with the red asterisks. And there will be a drop-down menu for your school or program name, just to make sure that it is a university or a college or school that is recognized by the U.S. Department of Education. If you have any questions about that, you can go to the Department of Education website and they will explain the recognized universities and how that works. Other information required here: country, city, town, state, and degree. Other information is optional. If it makes you look good, go ahead and add it. Now, the third tab in the USAJOBS Resume Builder is where you can enter in references. And this is an optional section. I like to do it. Doesn't have to be done. But you can add several professional references and several personal references. I would probably do maybe 2 or 3 professional and 2 personal. The thing that the HR folks are looking for probably is the employer and the title. Now, any job-related training that you would wish to list on your resume should be entered into this section called job-related training. You can also enter in your language skills, your organizations or affiliations, and any professional publications here on in this tab, the other tab. And again, under additional information, if there's anything that doesn't have a home in the USAJOBS Resume Builder, please add it here. You have lots of space, lots of text box space to add whatever it is you need to add. Just make sure you label what you're adding into this box. Now, once you've reviewed your information in each section, you can preview, click on Finish, and you can preview your resume and what it looks like. Should be very clean looking. A lot of blocks. I call these sound bites. Quick, short blocks of information that the HR people can see very clearly. Now, once you've completed your resume and you've entered everything in, it should show up with the name you provided on the front page of the resume section. Again, you can create up to 5 of these resumes. And on the right-hand side, there is something called Status Searchable or Make Non-Searchable. What this means is that if somebody is looking in USAJOBS and they have access to do so, so they're supposed to be looking in USAJOBS, they may do some keyword searches and locate your resume based on a keyword search that they've performed. They can only find your resume if your resume has the status of searchable. If you do not want people looking for you and you do not want people looking for keywords from your resume, you can make your resume non-searchable. Does not happen very often at all, but it will include you. You will be included in a search if your status is made searchable.